Good day and welcome to Predators Proclivity, the podcast where we look at data from the season for the NHL Nashville Predators and make comments upon it. I'm your host, Preston Proctor. I hope y'all are having a great day. It's a great day here in Nashville. It's supposed to get a little bit of rain, but still have a chance. A few things happened over the weekend with regards to the playoffs. The East is getting a little bit more defined. You're running out of games, so tiebreakers. That's going to be the theme of the Eastern Conference, I think. Looking pretty, looking pretty busy over there. It's looking. I haven't hit it too much here over the last few podcasts. So unless you haven't listened to the last couple of podcasts or haven't listened hardly at all, we are Kings fans here in this household. Probably, we're like, 55 or 50, 45, 50% Kings fans, 45 Preds. That might be fair. 5% Kraken. Really not following the Kraken, not really pulling for them so much. But with Kopitar retiring and Doughty's going to be gone soon, it's going to switch over. We're here in Nashville. We go to some of the Preds games. We don't watch the Kings games. It's, I hate to say it, but they come on a little late. And, if I can't watch Foxy doing the telecast, then what's the point? Miss Bob Miller. But anyway, so he's been gone for a while. Yeah, gone before. I think he's gone before we moved here. But anyway, so I was hopeful that we'd be able to get both the Kings and the Preds in the playoffs. That's not looking likely. It's not looking likely. We'll get to those prospects here in a minute. But, even the West has got a little bit more to go on too. And, tiebreakers. It's going to be kind of the key over in the Pacific anyway, not so much in the Central. No, the Central has plenty of room. That's pretty much what it is. So, all right. So over the weekend, let's see, on the 10th, Edmonton got a playoff spot. On the 11th, Ottawa, Boston, and Vegas got playoff spots. Detroit, St. Louis, and Seattle eliminated. And then yesterday, the Islanders got eliminated. As far as the Pacific goes, 4 teams still vying for those 3 spots. Vegas, Edmonton, Anaheim, and the Kings. And the Kings have 3 games in hand, or 3 games left, 1 game in hand, but and the other 3 teams have 2 games left. A lot of play between them. Edmonton has to play Edmonton has to play Colorado and Vancouver. The toughest schedule of those 4 teams is Anaheim, and that's the team that I think the Kings have an opportunity to catch and pass. The Kings are going to lose the tiebreaker against everybody. I think even against some Russian teams, Swedish teams. Not going to. Well, no, the only team that they have the advantage over is Vancouver, who was eliminated back in January, I think. Anyway, so Vegas at 91 points. Winnipeg and Seattle left for them. They play Winnipeg tonight and then play Seattle on Wednesday. Thursday, so many games for the Western Conference and meaningful games, probably still meaningful games. I don't think things are going to get wrapped up before Thursday. But yeah, so Edmonton, Vegas has Winnipeg and Seattle. Edmonton has Colorado, Vancouver. They also play tonight, Edmonton, Colorado. And then Edmonton will play again on Thursday, play Vancouver on Thursday. Tonight we got Vegas playing Winnipeg. We've got the Kings playing Seattle and Edmonton playing Colorado. The only team not playing is Anaheim, and they play Minnesota tomorrow. The Kings are in a back-to-back situation today and tomorrow, playing Seattle. They're at Seattle tonight, and then at Vancouver tomorrow, and then they finish with Calgary on Thursday. All three teams have been eliminated. Like I say, Anaheim's got the toughest schedule there. So the Kings will have to win two more games than Anaheim. Anaheim has only 2 games left, but if the Preds if the Kings sweep these 3 and Anaheim loses one of them, hopefully they lose to Nashville at least, if not Minnesota too. Then the Kings can jump up into at least the 3rd position. They can overtake Edmonton as well. I mean, I guess if Vegas just tosses it in, they could overtake Vegas, but I'm not anticipating that. Problem is when the Kings overtake somebody, say they overtake Anaheim, that puts Anaheim into one of the wild card spots, and the Preds have the only opportunity to get to 90. They get to 90, they'll have a regulation win of 30, which is, and they have the advantage over Anaheim. I guess, no, the Vegas is at 91 points, so the Preds can't tie them. They could tie Edmonton, but Edmonton would have the regulation win advantage. So the only, so if the Kings wind up in a divisional spot, hopefully it's Anaheim that falls out, and the Preds can tie them, and they would have the tiebreaker in their favor. Otherwise, it's if Anaheim wins their next game, they don't play till Tuesday, so it'll still be rip roaring exciting on Tuesday. The Central Division spots have all been sewn up. There's 7 points between Colorado and Dallas, 6 between Dallas and Minnesota. Dallas, Minnesota only have two games left. Nobody play. Well, Colorado plays Edmonton. Hopefully they show up for that game. And then Dallas plays Buffalo. Again, Minnesota plays Anaheim, St. Louis, and then Anaheim. Anaheim? That doesn't seem right. They play Anaheim on Tuesday. Minnesota must be playing today. I didn't have that in my notes as a back-to-back situation for Minnesota, but I think it is. I think it actually is. Let's see. Let's take a quick look here. Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. Okay, so Minnesota's schedule. This is a back-to-back. All right. So they'll play tonight, and then they'll play Anaheim tomorrow, and that finishes off their schedule. Now, they don't have the opportunity to climb above Dallas, but you don't want to go to the playoffs with a bunch of losses. Currently, Minnesota has got a 2-game losing streak heading into tonight's game. So hopefully they take care of business against St. Louis and Anaheim, and then, give us a little bit of hope in the wild card race for both of the teams I'm pulling for making it in. Maybe not you out there, the listeners, but yeah. Anyway, so as far as the Western Conference wildcard race goes, where we've got 5 teams still San Jose still in there, but they got 3 games left. They got 82 points, so 88 is their max. It's unlikely. The Kings win tonight versus Seattle. It's over for the Sharks. Winnipeg also at 82. 88 is their max too. Winnipeg playing the Knights tonight, so a loss by Winnipeg or a win by the Kings, and Winnipeg is eliminated. And so that's kind of, I think come tomorrow, it's going to be down to the Kings in Nashville for the last playoff spot, where it is still up for debate. But yeah, so tonight's game could start to define it, or just kind of throw it back into chaos here in the Western Conference. As far as the Eastern Conference goes, a couple teams did get eliminated. The last spot is going to be the divisional spot in the Metropolitan. So 5 Atlantic teams are going to make it. The top 3 are going to be Buffalo, Montreal, and Tampa Bay. And the question is, what order? So Buffalo and Montreal are both at 106. Montreal only has 1 game left. They actually play Philadelphia, which is going to be a big game. A couple of big games today and tomorrow. 3 games, 1 game tonight, 2 games tomorrow. Philadelphia, Carolina tonight, and then Columbus, Washington tomorrow, Philadelphia, Montreal tomorrow. And then Tampa Bay at 80 with 104 points. They got 2 games left, just like Buffalo. So the order there could still change. And Montreal loses the tiebreaker, the regulation win tiebreaker, the first one, to both of those teams. So a tie for Montreal won't help them. The most likely, Montreal will not be the top team. It will be either Buffalo or Tampa Bay. And then in the wild card spot, you got Boston and Ottawa. Boston is leading them with 1 point. And there's no challenge to that. It's just which order do they show up in. Don't have, I didn't note what their games were. And so then, Carolina on top of the Metropolitan, followed by Pittsburgh. No chance of Philadelphia taking the second spot. So if Pittsburgh will be the second spot, Pittsburgh can't overtake Carolina. So that'll be the top 2 teams in the Metropolitan. And then who's the third team is still up for debate. Philadelphia at 94, the Caps at 93, Columbus at 92. Philadelphia does have 2 games left. And fun, Columbus and Washington have 1 game left, and they play each other tomorrow night. Columbus being 1 point behind Washington and not having the regulation win advantage, so they would need to win in regulation, and Philadelphia would have to lose both of their remaining games in order for the Jackets to get in. Philadelphia does play a back-to-back against Carolina and Montreal, and no slouches there. So they do not have an easy way in. The Caps could get to 95 points. They do have the regulation win advantage over the Flyers. So if the Flyers only wind up with 1 point out of these 2 games and the Caps win against the Blue Jackets, regardless of overtime or not, the Caps will get that last Metropolitan divisional spot. So they're all fighting to see who's going to play Pittsburgh in the first round. So, kind of exciting. Yeah, good stuff. Some good stuff here in the NHL here at the end of the season. Yeah, Thursday's the end. The Preds do play on Thursday, last game Anaheim. So tonight and then a couple days off. And then Anaheim, and that game may or may not have playoff implications depending on what happens along the way. But yeah, very exciting. So let's get to the game. So we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back. Right, so tonight, Monday night, 7 o'clock, Bridgestone Arena, San Jose Sharks back in town. Yeah, 3 games here against the Sharks at the end of the season. Woo, buddy. Both have been 6-3 contests that Nashville has won, thankfully. They did win March 24th in Nashville and then April 4th in San Jose. So tonight ends that series 6-3. Wow. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping if that's going to be 6-3, I hope the Preds get 6 in the first. That game against Minnesota was not terribly comfortable, and after Minnesota scored, did not get any easier. The Sharks are 5th in the Pacific Division with 82 points, 37-34-8. Road 16-20-2. This is the first of a 3-game road trip for them. and they will finish it off with a back-to-back. Their last 3 weeks, they've had back-to-backs in every week. They finish it off Wednesday, Chicago, and Thursday, Winnipeg, all on the road. So Nashville on Monday, Chicago on Wednesday, Winnipeg on Thursday. And I guess if they don't make the playoffs, it's questionable whether Customs will let them back in. But, sure, there's some fine places to live in Winnipeg, and it ought to be decently warm there. That'll end the regular season for them. As I said, this is the last of 3 versus these 2 teams. Last year, Nashville swept all 3. Guess shouldn't say that. 7-5 in January in Nashville, 6-5 in the 23rd in San Jose, and 3-2 in San Jose. So, yeah, the first 2 games against these teams last year, lots of scoring, 9 goals in both games this year, 12 and 11 in the first 2 games last year, and then 3-2. Very tight one in March. So we'll see how that changes. The only player that they have out of consequence, number 75 right wing Ryan Reeves, continues to slide out. Not expected now until the 16th, so unlikely for him to be in the lineup. I didn't take a look at him. I was looking at somebody else the other day, and let's see here. Are they projecting Reeves in the lineup? They are not. They are not. So, okay, cool. So don't expect him back. He's got a stat we'll talk about later. But they did yesterday summon Mr. Cagnoni. You are summoned. So yesterday, number 42 defenseman Luca Cagnoni, easy for you to say, was summoned from the San Jose Barracuda, the Barracuda. All right, as far as the Preds go, they're 5th in the Central, 86 points, 38, 32, and 10, 21, 15, and 3 at home. This is the second of 3 at home, which these 3 games will end the regular season. They're 1-0-0, having beaten Minnesota Saturday 2-1, and the last game will be Anaheim. Roman Josi did return on the 11th to the lineup, and with that, they sent Jordan Osterley back to Milwaukee. Nicholas Hague still out, still projected for today, but they don't show him in the lineup. So I would say he's not coming back today. And I hope he's feeling good. Maybe he's a little cold. Let's see what we got here in the gift shop. Oh, the Mother's Day gift guides. What do we say? Here on Cozy Earth, what do we have? You got favorites, clean skincare. Oh, let's take a look at their skincare here. Oh, their skincare. Hey, it's on sale. Font Society enzyme mask from $31.20, marked down from $48, up to 35% off. I wonder if Preds Pro would work with that. The full size is one-time purchase of $33.60, or the mini isn't in stock. It is $14. So there you go. 30% off, $33.60. I wonder if Preds Pro would get you another 25% off something that's on sale. Let's take a quick look here. Like I said, this is CozyEarth.com, and Preds Pro gets you 21% off. Preds Pro. Let's try it. Preds Pro. And Preds Pro, not going to apply. It's on sale. You only get one or the other. Can't stack them. That's too bad. But there you go. Preds Pro, 21% off. Looks like that particular item is better off with their current sale. So I wouldn't try to use it. Wouldn't replace it anyway. But Preds Pro gets you 21% off at CozyEarth.com. QuantumSquares.com. Yeah, we were out playing golf this weekend and missed the FedEx package. Had some wine being delivered, and they just showed up. They showed up when they said they were going to, which is so rare. Usually packages, they give me a window and then it doesn't show up during that window. But hey, we were on the golf course. Prudence forgot to eat breakfast yesterday, so she was eating one of the quantum energy squares in the car on the way. That the chocolate chip cookie dough, that was her breakfast. She beat me yesterday. Beat me net. She beat me net. Did not beat me gross, but I played awful. What was I shot in 86? Just got 770. So I was 8 over net. 7 handicap, adjusted handicap for yesterday. But yeah, she beat me net. I didn't, like I said, I did not play well. Shot an 86, which is 15 over. Anyway, yep. So that must have taken her over the edge. So there you go, chocolate chip cookie dough before your round, and you'll take home the prize. QuantumSquares.com, Preds Pro, 25% off, and there you go, 25% off it with the promo code PredsPro at QuantumSquares.com. Talking about golf just messed me up. Why don't we stop talking about that and take a little break, and we'll come back and talk about some stats. All right, so I had this epiphany, and I started working on this. I have yet another thing I'm going to start doing. Unfortunately, there's only 2 games left. I did get the basic data built into a new sheet, but basically what I decided to do was all these stats with regards to the Preds winning or losing periods, scoring goals, first and or getting the first goal, not getting the first goal. I decided to break that out by teams, and then actually, the goal is to be able to pick a certain number of teams, any particular number of teams, and be able to take a look at all of those stats together. But one way to do that is by division. And so I've got the teams broken up by division, but when I put all the stats together, my goal is to be able to put the number of the team. And so I could have, I should be able to take like the 8 best teams in the league and see how the Preds compare to that, or, be able to just pull whatever team. So hopefully I'll have all that done by Thursday. I guess that's nice that I got a couple days. I hoped to get it ready for today's game. Got 2 Pacific Division matchups to finish the season, but getting the data pulled over into the spreadsheet in such a way that I can manipulate it took a couple hours yesterday. And after that, I'm like, well, I got the data. I'll just let's just move on. Let's move on. So anyway, got some new stats. Oh, and also I meant to make this announcement at the beginning of it. I do intend to still, even if the Preds make the playoffs, of course, I'll be doing a podcast for every Preds game. If they do not, I will still cover the playoffs. I'm not exactly sure how frequent, but we'll see how that goes. I toying around that this might be my last season doing this. I guess we'll see. Usually, go through the summer, and I get a little bit more energy for it. But it's a lot of work, and I haven't really found a way to monetize this. But so teasing with the idea of this being the last season for this podcast, but maybe not. I don't know. Next season rolls around, I'm going to be ready. Probably do it again. I might switch up how I do it. Always changing things here, hoping to make things better. Me rambling on about whether or not I'm next soon doesn't make it better, but hey, let's get to it. Okay, so first goal. Preds get the first goal. 13-3-1. Look at that, will you? 13-3-1. So like a 3-1 advantage for the Preds if they get the first goal. They did get the first goal against Minnesota. They actually won the first 2 periods again. So, yeah, that's not something that's happened very often, winning the first and second. Winning 2 periods a lot of times, most of the time, will get you the win. It was, and it did the other night. If they don't get the first goal, it's not so bad. 8, 12, and 2, not quite a 2-1 advantage for the opposition, but definitely not the advantage for the Preds. Home games, so this is what we've got, 39. We've had 39 home games, and we've had 17 times they've gotten the first goal, which is close to half, so you kind of have to like that. Okay, we're not at 20. We're not at 20 to make it statistically relevant, but that is quite the data point there. The Preds now at home, having won the other night in the first period. At home, they are 11, 11, and 17 in the first period. If they get the first goal, they're 11, 0, and 6. 11, 0, and 6 in the first period if they get the first goal. And so they have not lost the first period if they get the first goal. And also, if they don't get the first goal, they haven't won the first period. But they are 11 and 11, 11 losses and 11 ties if they don't get it. So that's not too bad. Moving to the second period, it's kind of a coin flip. They're 12, 13, and 14 in the second period. Have they got the first goal, they're 7, 5, and 5. And if they didn't, they're 5, 8, and 9. And then in the third period, 12, 18, and 9, they did lose the third period the other night. So their record in the third period at home, not so good. They did get the first goal the other night, and then they lost the third period, won the game, but lost the third period. They're 6, 7, and 4 in the third period in the games in which they got the first goal. Games that they do not get the first goal, they're 6, 11, and 5. So they have a losing record in all periods when they don't get the first goal. But still doesn't mean they're going to lose the game. Let's take a look at that. Let's see, when the Preds, in the first period, and they win the first period 11 times, they're 8 and 3, 3 and 8 when they lose. That's nice symmetry there. 10 and 7 when they tie. So winning record when they tie, winning record when they win. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And same for the second period, 8 and 4 in the games that they win the second period, 3 and 10 in the games that they lose it, 10 and 4 in the games that they tie. And then, at home, win and tie, all winning records, even though they did lose the third period the other night, they did win the game. So in the games in which they lose the third period, they're now 4 and 14. When they win the third period, they're 10 and 2, and tie the third period 7 and 2. So so winning and tying. So if we take a look at the combinatorics between winning and tying, oh wow! So they have won the first period 5 times now. I guess it's only on the road they've only won the first and second period once. But at home, they've done it 5 times, and they've won all of those games, just like they did the other night. If they lose the first period, 1 and 2 if they win the second, but the all of the scenarios involving losing the first period have losing records. And then if they tie the first, winning the second, they're 2, 1, and 1, which is not exemplary. But if they lose it, they're 1, 3, and 1. And then the most frequent thing is to tie the first and tie the second 8 times out of 39 games. So that's almost 20%, right? And they're 7, 0, and 1 in games in which they tie the first and tie the second. I really was kind of pulling for a tie in the first, but then once they scored, then I didn't know what to do about the second. I'll be honest with you. Winning the first, tying the second, they're 2 and 0. Like I said, losing the second has losing records. Losing the first has losing records. So winning and tying the first and second is where things have to be. As far as the combinatorics between the results of the second and third period, if they lose the second and they win the third, that does reverse their fortune, changes your fate. And they are 3, 1, and 1 in games which they lose the second and win the third. I wonder what they did do in the first. But we'll worry about that later. Tying or winning the second and winning the third undefeated, 3-1 and 4 in the other. Losing the third period, if they won the second, they're 2-2 and 1, so that's not so bad. Lose the second, lose the third, they've lost all 8 of those, and tie the second, lose the third, they're 2 and 3. So that's not awful. Tying the third has a winning record with winning and tying. They have not lost the second and tied the third. So that combination hasn't happened. So losing the second can be overtaken if they win the third. Otherwise, it doesn't look so good. So, I like winning the second. That looks really good. That's 12 times and they're 10-1 and 1. Let's just win the second. I like that. It's been kind of the second period has been my bugaboo. It's one of the reasons why I started doing this podcast, because a couple of years ago I thought they were awful in the second period, especially at home, and turns out I was right. Okay, so with that, let's take a look at goals. We always start this out by looking at when the winning goal is being scored: 14 times in the second, 13 in the third. When the Preds win, 6 times in the second, 8 times in the third. When the opposition wins, 8 in the second, 5 in the third. So Preds tend to get the winning goal a little bit more in the third. The opposition get the winning goal primarily in the second. Of course, the Preds got it in the second the other night, but it's really, really pretty even through there. And then even looking at when the home team wins, road team wins, scoring is the winning goals pretty even between the second and third period. Exactly the same, actually, for both the home team winning and the road team winning. 14 times for the home team in both the second and third, 12 times in the when the road team wins in the second and the third. So it's not really much to stand out there. A couple of years ago, it was very distinct. It was really, really crazy distinct. But this year, it's a little too homogenous to be meaningful, I think. It's all kind of spread out. It's clumped and spread out at the same time. So let's take a look at goal scoring. Scores overall, and we're at home. So the Preds now have a 1-goal advantage in the first period, 36-35. They are tied in the second period, 43-43, and then they've been outscored in the third by 6, 37-43. The advantage is distinctly towards the team that's going to win in all 3 periods. 23-13 in the first for the Preds, 13-22 for their opponents. So there's the delta definitely skewing towards the team that wins, especially in the third period. The Preds are being outscored 3-1 in games in which they lose. Now, they did win the other night. They got outscored 1-0. But overall, they're outscoring their opponents 2-1 in the third period in games in which they win. Of course, not the other night. So let's take a look at the scenarios of coming into the different periods, winning, losing, and tied. Okay, so they are home. And coming into the second period, the other night they did come into the second period winning, but that's not the most common scenario. The most common scenario is to come in tied. So 17 times they have come into the second period tied. Their eventual record is 10-4-3. That's pretty good. 5-4 in regulation, 5-3 in extra time. The anomaly here in the second period is that the games that go to extra time all enter the second period tied. If the Preds were winning, if the Preds were losing, they have not gone to overtime or a shootout in any of those scenarios. So, and it looks like about half the time. So 17 times they come into the second period tied, and 9 times it's resolved in regulation, and 8 times it's gone to extra time. That's kind of interesting. So let's take a look at that. The 17 times that they have come into it tied, 4 times they moved on to the third period and winning. So they came into the second period tied, went into the third period winning 4 times. They're 2-1 in regulation, 0-1 in overtime. So they're only 2-2 in those games. So coming to the second period tied, going to the third period winning, and they're 2-2. Not great. 8 times, about half, they come into the second period tied, go to the third period tied. 3-0 in regulation, 3-0 in a shootout, 1-1 in overtime. So that's actually a pretty good record. Then the 5 times they went to the third period losing after being tied in the second period, 0-3 in regulation, 1-1 in overtime. So not the best result is going tied, dude. Anyway, let's move on. So the other night they did come into the second period winning, which they have done 11 times. And then in the tied games, they've been outscored 17-15 in those 17 games. So it's close to even scoring. For the 11 times they come into the second period winning, they are outscoring their opponents 18-13. In those games, their eventual record 8-3, all in regulation. And so in those 11 games, they come into the second period winning. 7 times they go to the third period winning, and they are 7-0. So come into the second period winning, come into the third period winning, the game's over. Twice they went in tied, and those games they're 1-1. And twice they went into the third period losing, and they're 0-2. So come into the second period winning, and a lot of symmetry in there. 11 times they've come into the second period losing. They've been outscored 13-10 in those scenarios. And their eventual record is 3-8, all in regulation. So coming to the second period losing, 11 times they have not reversed that to go into the third period winning. That's 0 times. Twice they did go in tied, and they split those 2 games in regulation. And then the 9 times that they went into the third period losing, they're 2-7. So that's not a great record there. So kind of like coming in winning now. Yeah, look at this. Let's come into the second period. Let's win that first period. Yeah, like that. As far as the third period, the most frequent thing for the Preds is to come into the third period losing. That's 16 times. They've been outscored 22-17, 10 of those for the opposition being empty nets and only 1 for the Preds. So they've outscored their opponent 16-12 when coming into the third period losing until the goaltenders get pulled. And then their eventual record, 3-12-1. So 2-12 in regulation, 1-1 in extra time. Next up is to come into the third period tied. That's 12 times. They've outscored their opponents 13-9. They have 3 empty net goals. The opposition has 1, so they outscored the opponents 10-8 in those 12 games. Their eventual record 9-2-1. 9-2-1. 5-2 in regulation, 4-1 in extra time. So that's not too bad. So the least number of things to happen is to come into the third period winning. That's 11. So 11, 12, and 16. I mean, it's pretty close, but 11 times, and they've been outscored 12-7, and the Preds have 4 empty net goals. So in the 11 games in which they come into the third period winning, they've been outscored 12-3. Their eventual record, 9-1-1. Can't argue with that. 9-1 in regulation, 0-1 in extra time. So, yeah, maybe I should break that out by overtime and shootouts, doing that other places. We always increasing the level of information or data. Would you call it data? Let's see. I used to work in the knowledge industry. You've got data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. It's how things progress. It's 33 degrees, would be data. Info would be, it's cold for this time of year, something along those lines. Data information, wisdom, or knowledge and wisdom. So anyway, let's move on to the matchups. Yeah, so talking about goal scoring, we'll keep that up. We're playing the San Jose Sharks. The Preds are at home. Preds are home, which means the Sharks are on the road. Let's read the right numbers here. Sharks have played 38 games on the road, which is the least. Only one other team have played so few, and everybody else have played more. Of course, we're here at the end of the season. The range is 38 to 41 on that. I do have my ranges now for goal scoring in the first, second, and third, which are wild, very wild, as I don't know how meaningful it is. I guess with ranges like that, standard deviations and things like that would be, oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I got the standard deviations. I calculate them. I just don't look at them. Anyway, yeah. Let's move on to goal scoring. Okay, so the Sharks are 15th in the league for road teams, right at league average, 3 goals a game, averages .302. In the first period, they're 12th with .95. The league average is .86. The second period, they're 21st, .95, league average 1.01, and staying at .95 in the third, 25th in the league, though, .95, league average 1.07. So even for road teams, the trend is to score more goals in the third period. It's been that way all year. The home teams have kind of not kept up in the third period like the second, but at the end of the season here, clearly they have, and road teams have all along. Road teams in general are scoring 6% more goals in the third period than the second, 16% more in the second than the first, so increases through the game. Just raw numbers here, the Sharks have scored 36 goals. Fun. 36 goals in the first, 36 goals in the second, 36 goals in the third. Are you kidding me? They played 38 games and they've scored wow. That is stellar. That's a record. That's pretty good. Pretty good from just a numbers statistical standpoint. Probably San Jose Shark fans not thrilled with that. One other thing they're not going to be thrilled at is that they are, as far as goals against, they're second for road teams, 3.74 goals a game. League average is 3.14. That's 0.6 above average. The top is 375 and they're 374. So they're just a little under being scored on the most in the league, which is true in the first period. They're second, 1.18. The highest is 1.2, so they're just beating against that one. League average 0.89. Not any better in the second. They're fifth in the league being scored on, 1.24. League average 1.08. And then sixth in the third, 1.26 with league average 1.09. Raw numbers. 45 in the first, 47 in the second, and 48 in the third. Pretty close to being even, but wow. They've scored 114 goals on the road and given up 142. Wow. That's wow. Wow. All right. Well, how about the Preds? Let's talk about the Preds. Preds are home. The Preds are 20th in the league in scoring 3.03 goals a game. Same number, just about the same number as the Sharks on the road. League average, so they're 3.14, so they're below average there. They jump up, actually above average in the first, 0.92. League average 0.89. So the Sharks are 0.95 in the first, and the Preds are 0.92. Preds do get better in the second period. They're 15th in the league, 1.10, just above league average in the second period, and then go back down to 0.95, which is the same place the Sharks are at. And so that's below average. 1.09 is the league average for home teams in the third period. So the best period does look like the second period for the Preds. Raw numbers, they've scored 36 goals in the first, 43 in the second, and 37 in the third. As far as goals against, not as bad as the Sharks, but not good either. 3.18 goals a game. That's ninth in the league. 3.02 is the league average. Right about league average in the first. 0.9, league average is 0.86. Jumps up in the second, 1.1, with the league average being 1.01. And then same average in the third, but it drops in the rankings, 1.1 in the third, league average 1.07. Raw numbers, 45, 47, 48. So fairly evenly consistent there. Oh, no, hold on. That was wrong. That was the Shark. 35, 43, 43. 35, 43, 43 for the Preds. They've scored 118 goals at home, and they've had 124 scored against them. So 6-goal deficit there, but closing that gap at least at home. And what about on the road? Where are the Preds at on the road? Just taking a quick look. 124 and 140. 120. No, that's the Preds. 118, 135. It's nice if you read the numbers. So that's fun. The Preds have scored the same number of goals on the road as they have at home. Of course, they got two more games here at home. They've had 11 more goals scored against them at home than on the road. Again, 2 more games. So hopefully that doesn't change. Anyway, so there you go. Preds a little bit better scoring in the second, and that's just fine with the Sharks. The Preds give up goals in the second, and I don't know, the Sharks don't seem amenable to that. Looks like they would rather score it in the first, but 36, 36, 36. Pretty even. Okay, what about special teams? Preds are home, which means that the Sharks are on the road. Sharks on the road, not a very good penalty kill team. 29th in the league, 74.4%, 30 goals against on 117 opportunities. They have scored 3 shorthanded goals. Times shorthanded per games played, they're 13th. So it's got to be right around league average. So not an overly amount, but goals against 5th. So 13th in opportunities, but 5th in being scored on. Ergo, they are 29th in the league. The Preds have the 5th best penalty kill at home, 82.9%, 20 goals on 117 opportunities. So they've had the same number of opportunities as the Sharks, but they've had a third less goals, 10. So 20 goals on 117 opportunities and 4 shorthanded goals. Pretty good. So 7 times shorthanded, 7th in the league on being shorthanded per games played, so a little bit more on taking penalties than other home teams, but 22nd in being scored on, 7th in opportunities and 22nd in being scored on. So that's pretty good. As far as the power play goes, the Sharks are 16th, so right about league average, 21.2%, 22 goals for on 104 opportunities. They've given up 4 shorthanded goals. Power plays per game played, 16th, so about league average. So didn't look like they permit penalties or get a lot of penalties. League average, a couple. Goals for per games played ticks up at least, 16th in opportunities, but 15th in goals for. So that's good for them. But as far as the Preds power play, 11th for home teams, 23.3%, 27 goals on 116 opportunities, so 5 more on 12 more. Giving up 1 shorthanded goal. 18th power plays per games played, so that looks pretty even. But 13th on goals for per games played, so it ticks up. The Preds numbers all going in the right direction. The Sharks not too bad on the power play. At least they seem to be taking advantage of it, but they seem to really not that good on the penalty kill. So there you go. That's those numbers. As far as where are my numbers with regards to special teams? Let's see, the Preds at home. They're now running about 28% in the first period. Their opportunities do increase over the period, 32 in the first, 42 in the second, 46 in the third. The opposition gets more opportunities in the second than the others, but they score more goals in the third. So unfortunately, the opposition running at 21% in the third, 13 in the first, 15 in the second, 21 in the third. The Preds having decreased effectiveness over the periods, but he scored 9 goals in both the first, second, and third period, but the opportunities have increased through the game, so their percentages dropped 28 to 21 to 20. I think they did get they used to be in the 30s, but not anymore. So that's special teams, which takes us to people to watch. Cool. So, got a few people to talk about. Top of the list, number 71, center Macklin Celebrini. First in goals, first in assists, first in points, first in ice time, first in shots. There you go. Celebrini. And he centers the first line. Next up is a tie. There's two guys tied with second in goals at 13. We got number 2 center Will Smith. Smith is the right wing on the first line, so he plays with Celebrini. And then number 51, right wing Colin Graff. Graff, where is Graff? Graff is on the third line. Oh, with Toffoli. Tyler Toffoli of the old 70s line during the LA Kings Stanley Cup run. So that was what, 2002? No, 12 and 14. So 12 years ago. He's got to be getting up there. He was young, though, when he was with the Kings. So maybe he's still got a few more years. Doesn't have any stats to talk about. But Graff is on the third line with Toffoli. Graff also third on the team in shooting percentage, so 21.7%. So he's got those 13 goals on 60 shots. So I think, again, the third line seems to kind of perplex the Preds at some point in time. So this is not a team that they want to get perplexed about the third line. Let's just put it that way. And then second in assists and second in points is number 21 center Alexander Wenberg. He centers the second line. And then tops in ice time or tied with Celebrini is number 38 defenseman Mario Ferraro. And then second in shots is number 72 left wing William Eklund. Where's Eklund's on the second line with Wenberg. 3 players on the team with shooting percentages over 20%. The top guy plays for the Barracuda, so he's not in the lineup. But second on the team, shooting percentage is number 92 left wing Igor Chernyshov, 4 goals on 17 shots, so 23.5%. Chernyshov is the other wing with Celebrini. So Celebrini, Smith, and Chernyshov all have stats to be aware of. So, of course, the first line for San Jose is dangerous. Next up, we've got number 3 defenseman John Klingberg, who is 20% shooting percentage, 7 goals on 35 shots. Is Klingberg injured? Klingberg's not in the lineup. So I may have missed something there. But Klingberg, where's Klingberg? Anyway, so then we have an injured player, definitely injured. Ryan Reeves, who has 2 goals on 10 shots and 20%, but he is not going to be in the lineup tonight because he is injured. And Klingberg, where's Klingberg? He's played 55 games. I don't have him as injured. And he played against Edmonton the other night. So I don't know why Klingberg. This is San Jose, right? San Jose Sharks. Klingberg not in the lineup tonight. Not projected to be in the lineup. I don't know why. Like John Klingberg, he's played in 55 games. He played against Edmonton the other night. He was in the game with Nashville. So maybe they're swapping up their defensive pairings. Okay. Yeah, well, they did just recall that one guy, who they recall, Cagnoni, easy for me to say, Cagnoni, who's not shown in the lineup either. So we got Orlov and Descharmes. Holy cow. Mucka, that name doesn't even fit in the square. So I'm going to get it wrong. Muckamadula. And then Ferraro, and then Dickinson and Letty as the defensive pairs tomorrow night. So let's just go find out what this guy's name really is. Holy cow. It must have small print on the back of his jersey. Muhammadulin. Wow. It's got to wrap around. I got to see this. I got to make sure to pay attention. That name can't fit on a regular jersey. Wow. Anyway, so, don't know. So he's, Klingberg's got 55 games, 20% shooting percentage, 7 goals on 35 shots, but not there. Chernyshov, I had to look him up too because, 4 goals, 17 shots, but he's got 11 games played on the road. He's a guy that's been bouncing back and forth between the Sharks and the Barracuda, but he is currently on the roster for the Sharks. And like I said, he's on the first line with Celebrini. So, but yeah, he hasn't been with the Sharks all year long. All right, for Nashville, first up, we've got number 91 center Steven Stamkos leading the team in goal scoring with 24. He's second on the team in shots with 96, but he's second on the team with a shooting percentage. So 24 goals, 96 shots, 25% shooting percentage. Next up, number 9 left wing Philip Forsberg, second on the team in goals with 20, first in points with 40. I guess he's got 20 assists, huh? First in shots, 128. Then we get Mr. Stat, number 90 center Ryan O'Reilly, third in goals, 14. First in assists with 25. Second in points with 39. Third in ice time with 2015. So he leads the forwards in ice time. Next up, back in the lineup, number 59 defenseman Roman Josi, second in assists with 21, first in ice time 24-18, and making another appearance here at home with tied for second in assists with 21, number 77 right wing Luke Evangelista. Leading the team in shooting percentage is number 85 defenseman Ryan Ufko, 1 goal, 3 shots, 33%. And so that takes us to momentum. Well, momentum. One of these things you just don't really want to be too explicit about, but let's just go through it. San Jose 16-20-2 on the road. They have a 3-game losing streak coming into tonight, 5-3-2. They have an outside shot at the playoffs still. Where are they at? The Sharks, 82 points, 3 games played. 88 is their max. That would not put them into a divisional spot. The Kings and the Preds would have to fall apart for the Sharks. The Sharks with 25 regulation wins. If the Sharks won all 3 of those, they'd have 28, which would put them in a tie. Then they would win the tie with the Preds in the regulation overtime. If any of those wins came in extra time, and the Preds didn't win a game or did win a game, then the Sharks would lose the tiebreaker there. No, wait a minute. 82. I keep bouncing around here. And so the Kings would have to not win, and the Sharks would have to win out, and the Preds would have to the Preds could win 1 game, but the Sharks would have to win everything in regulation. So an outside chance. Sharks lose tonight, there's no chance. The Kings win tonight, there's no chance. So look very thin for the Sharks, but, not saying that they don't have a lot of things to play for, but not sure if they really believe that they still have a chance. I mean, this would be, and then the Jets would, the Jets, if the Jets won all three of theirs, they would be tied, and the Jets have all of the, have the tiebreaker. The first tiebreaker anyway. So if the Jets won out, as long as they won one in regulation, they would have the advantage over the Sharks. So Sharks pretty thin. As far as their record against the Central Division, they are 11-8-2, which is not too bad, but most of that at home. 9-2-1 at home, but 2-6-1 on the road. Their two wins are Minnesota, though. They have beaten Minnesota twice on the road. Losses twice to Colorado, Utah, Dallas, Chicago, and Nashville, in an overtime loss to St. Louis. So, yeah, not the best road team against the Central Division. If they did make it into the playoffs, they would be wild card 2, which means they play Colorado in the first round. They have beaten Colorado at home, and then they've lost to Colorado on the road. So, yeah, at least they've got a win against Colorado if they did happen to make the playoffs. They got a chance. For Nashville, 21-15-3. In the last 5 games, they've kind of been alternating wins and losses. 5-4-1 in the last 10. Starts the home. No, they're 1-0. You didn't update that. 1-0 on this home stand. They are 14-5-3. 14-5-3 versus the Pacific, which is the division that they have the best record against. Actually, who doesn't? 14-5-3 versus the Pacific. At home, they're 8-1-1. 8-1-1, 6-1 in regulation, 1-1 in overtime, and 1-0 in a shootout. So at home, they've got a loss to Anaheim, 2 wins against Calgary, overtime win with Edmonton, a shootout, of course, LA shootout win, and then a win against San Jose, win against Seattle, regulation win and an overtime loss to Vancouver, and then a win against Vegas. So the Preds have played pretty well against their Pacific Division opponents at home, especially at home. I wonder if that time zone thing comes into play. I don't know. There's I wouldn't think so. I mean, they have, that you never know. Never know how they get here, right? Don't always know how they get here. But so the Preds have played pretty good against the Pacific Division this year, 8-1-1 at home. So here we are. 2 games left in the season for the Preds, and we'll finish the season in Anaheim. Hopefully, we'll be in a playoff spot tonight. A key night, big night for the Kings and Predators. So hopefully, the Preds will come out and get a win. Preds don't control their destiny. If it gets down to Anaheim, they do. If Anaheim loses, when is Anaheim? Anaheim plays tonight too, right? Anaheim, where is this? Anaheim. No, Anaheim plays tomorrow night. If Minnesota takes care of business tomorrow night and Nashville does tonight, Thursday's game will be critical. Thursday game would be critical because that would be potentially a wild card deciding game. If the Kings can win, and if Anaheim loses and the Kings win their games, LA will be up in a divisional spot, and the Preds have a chance to steal one from the Ducks. So, lots to play for. All right. So, 7 o'clock tonight, regular time, Bridgestone Arena. The San Jose Sharks in town for the last time, next to last game. It's going to be the Preds have their blue-gold stuff, so it's the last game for one of those. It's been a fun season. Hopefully we get to carry it on into the postseason. Thanks for listening. I'm Preston Proctor, and you've been listening to Predators Proclivity.